Peace and love, peace and love. It's Sister Nzinga here from Flowing and Growing with Sister Nzinga. Here again to drop some wisdom, to share and care. Because, it's so important that we must emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. We've been hoodwinked and bamboozled. Malcolm tried to tell us a long time ago. Some of us didn't want to listen. Me either. It took a little time. It's a process. But now I know that I hope that everybody is starting the process. Because it is a process. It's going to take a little while, and there's some steps that you need to go through. Okay, so um, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to all of the people who have been sharing and caring, and especially those that are commenting. I want this to be a conversation. I want to hear what you have to say. You can debate me, you can agree with me, or you can disagree with me. I'm here and I'm open. When you got kind of hair like this, it just kind of does its own thing. But I love it. Wouldn't have it no other way. So this is I want it to be a conversation. I don't want me just to be the one talking to you all the guys all the time. Talk back to me. Well, as I say, talk black to me, y'all. So let's just get right into it. So what I want to do is talk about the reality that we live in, and then the process of what it takes to start emancipating yourself from mental slavery. But I think most of my viewers are past that part, so I won't get too deep into it like it's a new beginning thing. But just give some highlights, and this, of course, what our theme is: think it ain't illegal yet. That's the most important part, that we have to start thinking for ourselves, and it's okay if you think this and no one else does. It's okay because it's your idea, and people can't dispute your idea. This is your idea. If this is how you think, what you feel, or something you want to have or do and manifest in your life, then it's up to you. As long as you're not doing anything against the will of spirit, because spirit is the one who controls everything. Spirit got the master plan. They say we are planners, but Yah is the best planner. And sometimes things don't go our way, but they are going. And once we get there, it's going to be for the greater good. So, and thinking about that we have to start looking at situations and start making changes. I've talked about this many times before, that we have to start making changes, because it doesn't do us any good that if I'm always talking about these companies. I'm just going to use McDonald's or Chick-fil-A and all these people. If you know the food that they're offering you is not good, you must stop eating it. Or just might as well just stay where you at. It's really just a choice that has to be made. So it's no way that if you know these things and you're not practicing them, because once you learn a truth, the only time that truth really becomes your truth is through experience. So you can read a book, you can go to a lecture, you can listen to audio books, you could watch YouTube channels, do whatever, have conversations with people, whatever. But until you have taken that truth into your consciousness and made it your truth, then it doesn't do you any good. The truth doesn't do you any good. So you just might as well just keep eating McDonald's, keep eating all these food places that are doing it. Keep eating foods when you know there's no seeds in there, because if there's no seeds in the food, that means that somebody created it in a laboratory. It's really just that simple. And I know it's like, well, what am I supposed to eat? Okay, there's so many choices out there, for the many choices, and that's the thing about it. You have to do some research and find out what some of the other choices are. They're not going to be in the main thing what people were talking about. But there's people all over Instagram and what's the other thing, and all this media that are giving so many different recipes that are for good healthy foods. Some of them are not very complicated either. But if you want to make a change, you have to change. Just really the bottom line. You have to decide to make a change. You cannot know that toothpaste has fluoride in it, and fluoride is not good for you. Look it up. Fluoride is not good for your body because it blocks your pineal gland, and your pineal gland is your connection to the Most High, to consciousness. And so, if you have things up there blocking that, then you're not going to be able to reach the consciousness that you desire, because you have fluoride and other things, other type of chemicals that are in the foods that's blocking that. And so you can't keep saying, okay, I'm trying to be conscious, I'm trying to make a change and something, and you're still using toothpaste with fluoride. You can't say that you're trying to heal and eat foods that's healthy if you're still eating food that has no seeds in it, or you're eating processed food or microwave food, or the packaged food, or that kind of stuff. So you have to be the judge of what you're doing. You have to put some effort. You have to put a conscious effort towards what it is that you're trying to do. You cannot know all this stuff and say, "Oh, I know this," or "I didn't been here. I heard this person's thing. I read this person's book, whatever." But it's not doing it any good to you if you're not putting it into your experience. You have to experience the truth in order for it to be your truth, and it's not easy to do because I came up with it, and I lived my truth, and it just wasn't a time when most people was living their truth, and I was an eyeball. And there's some things that I regret now that that I should have done differently. I would say I don't regret that. What can I say this? I don't regret what I did, but I do wish that there were some things that I should have done differently. But that's life. Life is life and all the time, and life don't wait for nobody. It's coming. It's happening with or without you. So the reality is that if you want to see a change, if you want to open up your consciousness, then you have to start making change. And if you're learning, you're listening to people speak. If you got somebody in therapy, that the counselor is talking to you, or if you're reading books, or you're doing it in any kind of way that you're doing it, because there's so much information that's out there. Just going to the library, reading books on your own. Whatever you're doing, you have to start embracing it. You have to start embracing it. And if you do not take this truth and live the truth, then the truth is no good to you. And then what it ends up happening is that you're living a lie, because you're saying, okay, I'm a this or that. I mean, some people, just talk about people who may say they are vegetarian. I don't like labels. I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. I'm a conscious eater. I make good food choices. Um, so say for instance, if that's what you said you want to do, you want to start doing that, then that's a process also. So I'm not saying you have to just cut out something all of a sudden. I think it should be step by step, that you're starting cutting out some of the things that you no longer desire to have in your body, because you know what these foods are doing to your body. But if you keep saying it, but you really, still, when you're at home, when you're out in the public, you eating fruits and vegetables, or French fries, or whatever it is that you saying that you are, this vegan thing. But then when you get home, every now and then you're still eating hot dogs and stuff like that. Then it makes you be living a lie. And speaking of hot dogs, I just always like to be trashing hot dogs because it's such a garbage food. I don't know how people are still eating hot dogs when you know that it's just garbage. And then remember that thing called the stuff called spam? It was like a little can, a little tin can. They still sell spam. It's because people are still eating spam. But that's the garbage from a long time. That was way back slave food. But people still eat spam. And it's really not an economical thing, because it really doesn't cost a lot of money to eat healthy. It really does not. Sometimes, depending on what you want, some things may cost a little bit more, especially when it's being prepared outside of the home. But far as you buying fruits and vegetables versus you buying pack of chicken, some ribs, and some burger meat, it's less expensive for you to buy some fruits and vegetables. So it's not really a matter of when things cost too much, in order to live that kind of lifestyle, whatever. But then again, if you do have to pay more for things, like, aren't you worth it? Aren't you worth it? I don't know. I'm worth it, and you should value your own self like that too. There's no amount of money that that's there's no value that I could put on myself. I'm invaluable, because I and I are one. And the creator is the all in all, the omnipresent, omnipotence, and what's the other words? Three of them: omnipresent, omnipotence, and omni, omnipotent. There you go. Okay, see, I'm learning these things too, and I'm sharing them but I have to remember them what they are. Those are three things. So yeah, so it's not as hard as we say it is. And then anything that you don't work for, it ain't really ain't worth having. So it's not going to be easy, that's for sure. But it's a process, and then once you go through that process, then it just becomes your norm. I talked about long time ago about the transformation. How you are in first you're in transition. So okay, so say for instance, if I'm doing a thing, okay, and then I would say, oh, okay, I don't want to do it that way no more, and then I transfer into not doing it the old way. I'm doing it the new way, okay, and then that new way becomes my my way, okay. So it's like a transition, it's a transformation, a transition, and then it becomes your normal. So first of all, I go and I make the change, and now I'm doing things a little different. Okay, so that's good. Okay, and I'm starting to see results. Okay, and then you make a total transformation, and then those things become your normal. Those things become your norm. So it is a process, the steps that you have to go through. And I'm going to do a little sidebar because I'm thinking I want to make sure that I said those things in the right order. So I may be wrong, but I hope you understand the point that I'm making. You take something, you make a change, and then that change becomes your new thing that you're doing. Okay, but then you keep doing that new thing so much that that new thing becomes your norm. See, it's a step by step process, but you have to be willing to put in the work. That's the main thing. You have to be willing to put into work to make these changes in your life. It's not going to come to you easy, and everybody around you may not agree. They may not agree. They may not like it, and they may get offended, or they may, they say hurt people hurt people, hurt people hurt people. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. Hurt people hurt people. Okay, so you got that? Hurt people because that's all they know. So sometimes somebody may try to, sabotage what you're doing, or talk about you, or lie on you, or whatever it is. But you have to be steadfast in what it is that